Greetings and welcome to Youth Perspective, an interactive show where we speak to the youth about some of the challenges they are facing. We also speak to the generation that came before them and find out how they can help in the transition. My name is Masichaba Dlamini, and today we are talking about gender-based violence and how it impacts on the youth. I am joined with a panel who will further help me unpack this issue. I'm just going to ask my panel to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jessica Marisha. I'm not a victim. I was never a victim. I'm just here in support of the woman.
Hi, my name is Celeste van der Klaashorst. I'm from the South African Police Service, and specifically the Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit.
Hi, my name is Ntabiseng Khashani. I'm a Victoria.
Hi, my name is Figile Magakamela. I'm a Victoria.
Okay, we are also joined by a live studio audience who will obviously be joining in on this conversation. So just to start off with our panel, I'm going to start with you, Jessica, because you're here in support of women and what they go through. But I want us to almost open it up more and not just speak about women, because there are men that experience gender-based violence. And there's this cloud that it only happens to women. But since it's Women Month, we'll start with women. So in support of these women, what's your take on gender-based violence?
I'd say with the women, it's because we all know that women are the ones that come across it more than men. So with the women, it becomes very emotional to the women because now they start to hide it in and they don't come out and say that this is what's happening to me because they would feel or think that they love the person too much and they can't go out and speak about it or share about it. So I think they should just speak about it more. I mean, to a friend or someone, because those people can talk about it to people that can help them out.
Definitely, and I think it comes in with the work Celeste does, family, friends, and just talking about it. In your line of work, how is the topic handled with family, society, friends? What do you come across?
I think I'd like to support what Jessica is saying wholeheartedly. If people don't come forward and report, that abuse will continue forever. So it's imperative that you actually really bring yourself together, be brave enough to come forward and to report. And as far as the South African Police Service is concerned, not only government places a huge emphasis on women and children, it filters down to the police as well. It's one of our national priorities. The Family Violence, Child Protection, Sexual Offences Unit is a specialised unit to deal with these kind of issues. And I'm extremely happy when Minister Becky Cele, for example, says something like, hey, 2018 is going to be the year of women and children. And when it filters down to that degree, then it's awesome for us. And if we can make a difference to one victim, one child out there, get one less predator offender off the streets, then I think we're moving in the right direction.
And then just coming to you, Ntabiseng, as a person who has went through this and came out of it, and you are very lucky. Most women don't get to tell the tale, you know. We have seen in recent events that there was just a spate of violence against women, and this left young women specifically deceased and so forth. What was your experience, and what was that changing moment to say, I have to make a plan, I have to do this today?
My experience, it started as I was so desperate to be loved that I did not see that it's not love. So you get to that point that you realize that I'm actually being abused, but you didn't realize then because you think you are not being physically abused, whereby you are emotionally abused. So it grows, it starts from emotional and then it gets into physical abuse. So that's when I realized, when he started being physically abusive, that now I'm really being abused. But it also took me like a year or 2 years to get out of it whilst I was still being beaten up. So I think there's not much awareness to teach our youth, our women, our mothers, about different kinds of abuse. That's why it takes you long to leave the relationship still alive.
And I think, sorry, just to get in there,
Yeah.
I think you touched on a very important point that for most people, because he doesn't hit you
Yes.
or she doesn't hit
Yes.
you, they don't deem it as abuse, you know?
Yes.
And a young person might say, no, he really loves me, he doesn't want me to go out at night, no. But if you generally look at it, it is abuse.
Yes, Masichaba, it's abuse. Abuse is disrespect. Abuse is control. Abuse is there's different types of abuse. So you just need to know. We need to teach people what is abuse, so that they can realize at a very early stage, before you are dead, that this is abuse.
And then Fikile, just with you, I think there's a very pressing question that if you haven't went through abuse and you haven't came across it personally, there's the one question that everyone wants to find out: why do you stay? Your take on it?
Okay, Masichaba. I would say I would say that there's nobody who needs to be abused in any way. It might be an emotional abuse or physical abuse. So there's no reason to stay in an abusive relationship, because I've experienced an emotional abuse where I was like, okay, I'm a Christian, and then I'm a born-again child of God, and then I was in a relationship with a Christian, a son, Kamfundis. But to tell you the honest truth, Mina, I was not happy at all. And looking at the community and the role that I'm playing in church, so like I was in a box, and I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't tell anyone because of the status that I'm having in church, and you know.
I think then we have to deal with society and their norms, and because a person is of this hierarchy, it's seen as though that they're not capable of something. So what was your moment of this cannot be? What happened for you to get to that point where you told someone and you made a decision to say, I'm no longer going to be silent about this?
Honestly, Masichaba, I told myself, like I taught myself, and I spoke to my heart, because I was very scared to tell anyone. My family was suffocating to this because my mom knew about this. And now the problem is, it's the pressure that you need to get married and all that. The family pressures, the community pressures, Uguti, you, Figile and so you are making a very good couple, you know. So that was the pressure. And to the people that I'm working with, right? The community, at work, at home, there was a lot of pressure. Then I told myself, I made a decision because I couldn't pray about it anymore. I couldn't pray about it. I made a decision that I want to be out of this.
Can I also support her when she says she decided in her heart? Because it's better for you to break your own heart to leave that relationship than have a person break your heart and also break everything that's inside you, because it kills your self-confidence. It kills how people look at you. It also kills your, I don't know, if you were something in the community, it also kills, let me say with the youth, it kills your vibe. It really kills your vibe. So yeah, you need to let go. Just say, I'm going to break my own heart. I'm going to leave while I was still alive, because I decided when I was on my deathbed that, you know what, this is not working out. It's not.
And then Celeste, with you, when you speak to mothers, what's their reasoning? Because I think for a person, it's almost easy that this person is hurting you. Are you not aware that this is not healthy? For obvious reasons. But for a person who's in that situation, what do you find that the mother's reasonings are? Because sometimes it even filters to their children and they know about this.
Very much so. You know, a mother is always the hope figure. Without a mother, there's no nation. And a mother always tries, it's been my experience that a mother always tries to keep the family together. come hell or high water. They would like to have the family together, and a mother always has hope. So I hope he's going to stop beating me. Maybe I hope he's going to stop drinking one day, and she always lives in hope. And then we also experience that very often they're caught up in an environment where they think they can't get out.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what our victors are saying here. There's no way out for you. Either you're financially dependent on him, or what's going to happen to the kids? I'm going to be kicked out of the house. What is, you know, there's all these things that eventually just don't make her not to make the move. And I think it's a process. When we start working with somebody, it's a process to empower. And it's not only a police function, it's a community function. It's an integrated approach we all have to make to say, we all need to stand up against this and empower that woman, empower that man, that vulnerable group, maybe the LGBTQIs, to be able to stand up and say, hey, this is wrong and there is help out there.
And I think you touched on a very important aspect of abuse, finances, because we realize that a lot of people stay in relationships because they are financially dependent on this person, and this person knows that without me, you don't necessarily have money for A, B, and C. Exactly. Therefore, I can use that as leverage to abuse you and know that it's almost a trade, you know? And I think we see it a lot in young people and older men, whether it be a person their own age, but finances and ubumnandi and that vibe plays a big role.
It does a lot, because if you being properly financially treated by this guy and you happy, but then they emotionally abusing you, but your finances are being covered, it also gives you a reason to stay as a woman, because you think, abantu bazothini if I had to be a person that is not financially stable anymore. So that also kills the personal self-esteem and all of that. It takes it very low. But I feel like what Fikile said, when the parents know about it and they're also taking it as something that is proper, is the parents are also abusing the kids emotionally, because you know your child is emotionally hurting, crying every night, but you still agree
trying
on
to keep up appearances.
No, it's not right. It's not right.
It's not right. Do we have anybody from the audience who'd like to join into the conversation?
Hi, I'm Bongi from Alex. I think I've experienced the abuse once. I'm 30, then I once dated a guy who's double my age. And then I realized that the guy, because of his giving me everything I want, he's abusing me in a way that I can't go anywhere. I can't go visit my sisters, my cousins, and blah, blah, blah. And then he's controlling. He's a controlling freak. That's an abuse on itself.
Yeah.
So I realized that, no, this is not on. I must just leave it. So I'm like, all I want to say is that it's not about Chuguti. You must go and ask for your help. You must tell yourself that this is not me. I mustn't abused. This must stop. This must stop. The abuse must stop. More especially, it's Women's Month. No, we don't want abuse anymore.
My name is Lucky. Just wanted to check with you if you ever heard of a song sang by an American artist that says money can buy you love. That is a mistake that we normally do as women. We tend to want to maintain a certain status simply because this guy is looking after me, is taking care of me, so I need to be in this abusive relationship to maintain the status that I portrayed out there, or now I'm sorted. It's a mistake that we're doing from guys' point of view. I have a challenge with people that would attend marches like 100 Men March just to be on TV or just to be seen that you were part of the march, but you are not practically practicing what that march is about. Yes. That is the challenge that we have as South African men. The other issue that I wanted to put across was that why would you want to be in a situation whereby you yourself can see this is wrong, yet you will still want to stay because your mom says, like you were saying, your mom says, this is the pastor's child. So this relationship is respected in our church. So why would you want to stay in a relationship simply because your mom says it's cool to be in that relationship? It means you are simply doing it for your mom, whereas you are the one who's getting banned. Get out while you still can.
Yeah. And another issue I think that definitely comes across, women tend to be blamed in these situations.
Yeah.
Why are you not leaving? Why do you stay with this person? But we need to as well look at it from a perspective of why is he abusing her? Why?
Yes.
What's wrong with his self-esteem
Thank you.
for him to gain this power through abuse, you know? And I think we need to start having a conversation that is different, is saying, what's wrong with our men?
Yes.
Why are our men doing this? What happens with the upbringing of a boy child for them to feel entitled to a woman, whether it's her body, whether it's her respect, whatever it is, you know? So in the work that you do, Celeste, I think I want to just pose this question to you. Do you have programs for boy kids to know that appropriately this is how it happens, or this is how you treat a girl? And because you know there's this phenomenon when we're young that if a boy is mean to you, he likes you. And I think boys generally grow with it that they're mean, but they like you, and
become
it doesn't
macho
work.
in doing
Yes,
that,
and it
you know?
doesn't work.
Yeah,
And it makes them
the more
proud.
macho I am.
Yeah.
We slot in, we have an integrated approach with NGOs, with schools, with churches. And we slot in a lot on specific, like 16 days of activism on no violence against women and children, Women's Month, Child Protection Week. And we slot in, and FCS as a policing entity has to do proactive work. So we have to go into schools, into societies, into communities, and say this is not what it's on about. So we slot in with the NGOs, and especially you find it easier for a guy to talk to a guy.
Yes.
And it's also a cultural thing sometimes, you know. And what is this woman saying to me as a
man?
Yeah.
And you have to understand that as well. So you got to take hands with everybody and say, look, guys, this is not on. It's not macho. It's not culturally right to beat up a woman. It doesn't. You know, don't come in and throw the keys on the table and where's my beer, where's my food, wash my clothes, and if you don't do it, you're going to get beaten because it's acceptable. So that also has to come from our elders, going down to the boys and how you educate the boys. So yes, we do have programs. We have a lot of programs addressing a lot of issues. And it's also nice when the community comes forward to us and says, look, police, we want this program because this is a problem in our community. We'd like to develop that. We'd like to take hands and work in it. And I want to come back to what the member of the audience says, and our girls here as well, is do we know what our recourses are? Do we know what does the Domestic Violence Act say? Do we know what the obligation is of the police at a domestic violence scene? Do we know how to get a protection order? And to actually go somewhere and seek the help, because sometimes you're too proud to go and seek the help. And where do I go? You feel you're in a vacuum. So where do I go for that? So all I'm saying is if you are in an abusive relationship, start empowering yourself. Start calling. Start talking to people, and you will get a way out.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned a very important aspect, culture and abazali, older people. And it's deemed that in a marriage or in a relationship, but marriage more so, because obviously families have come together in that sense that you don't air your dirty laundry. You know, as a woman, you solve your house issues in the house and you resolve those issues, and you don't invite external objects into your marriage. Ladies, your take?
Yeah, that's true, because the guy was involved was Zulu. So basically, I'll say to him, it was more of a power thing, because you know how they say that a man is the
like a man.
Head of the household.
head of the house. So he was power, because why I was in that abusive relationship, Maschab, I cannot tell you. Because I was the one who was working. I was not depending on him for anything. I was working for him. So I don't know why I stayed for that 4 years, being beaten up, almost being killed. I cannot tell you. That's why when I started, I said, to me it was, I was so desperate for love that I did not see that it's not love. So to me, it was all about love. I was looking for love. So I discovered after the abuse and after I left and through my counseling that, you know what, I'm saying, you did not love yourself enough to realize within you there is love. So to him, it was more of, I mean, I'm shy. I beat her.
Do we have anybody from the audience who'd like to weigh in on the conversation? Okay, there we go.
Master Chaba, you know, abuse is a very painful thing, actually, for young women and girls, because we women, we have to learn to be independent. Everything that happens in our lives is all because of money, actually. That's all that I can explain. If you can learn to work for yourself or build yourself up, everything will be fine in the world. But if you are after money every time, you will get abused, everything will go wrong in your life. Thank you.
Hi, Ms. Chaba. I'd like to agree with Jessica. We as the youth, we have that thing of if he doesn't beat you, that means he doesn't love you. We have that thing, and it affects us a lot because we don't notice anything. So I would like to say we have to speak out about it. Even if you talk to a friend and then you're like, he beats me, like each and every time. So I think a friend, if when you can't notice it, if you tell someone, that person should help you. I believe that.
I was also a victim for 3 years. I was also beaten every day or almost every weekend. But one day I told myself that, you know what, enough is enough. If it's that kind of a love that I should be expected in my life, that's not the kind of love that I want. So I once told myself that, you know what, enough is enough. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Natasha. I'm coming from Ivory. I know Jessica when says like someone if he tells you that you're not supposed to wear a miniskirt or you have to wear like this. I didn't know that is abuse because I've been having a boyfriend who's telling me that if you wear like this, I saw you in the street, I want to beat you. Ask her like, you don't buy me clothes, why can you beat me for that? So it's no what, because it means like you are making a show off with your body. So this is my body, so you have to wear like this. You have to do whatever that I tell you to do. So I didn't know that it was abuse. So now I know that if a guy tells me to do this and do that, it means in such ways I have to sit down and think and look at it that he loves me or he's doing that because of he controls me or because he's abusing me. Thanks.
Thank you. And I think that is a very important aspect of it because when you're in a relationship, I would think that you would compromise for your relationship, you know. Yeah. But when it's suddenly a do or die situation, then it's a problem because we obviously people get into relationships and you're with someone and then you guys obviously communicate with things that you like, things that you don't like, and that's normal. But my thing is always what's the thin line between normal communication and abuse communication?
I think, Masichaba, the thin line, it's like I said, there's different types of abuse. Like she said, she didn't know that being told that you cannot wear a miniskirt. I've experienced that because that's control. Being controlled is being emotionally abused. So if they're controlling you and they're telling you that you cannot do this, you cannot be with you. And one thing about the abusers, whether it's men or women, they tend to shy you away from the people surrounding you. You are alone by the time. So they say you can't have friends. Your sister, I don't like your sister. I don't like whoever is in your cycle. So they try and make you at one space whereby they can only be the one telling you what to wear, how to look, and all those kind of things. So like the thin line, I don't know how to put it because whatever you say, it's not important to them. However, whatever you do, you are always to blame for whatever he did or she did to you.
All right, and then I think let's just get one more person from the audience and then we'll come back with closing remarks from the panel. So can we have one more person from the audience?
This goes to the SAPS. There are women who report cases, but the cases are resolved within themselves because most of the police, men or women, try to convince whoever's reporting the case to solve it amongst themselves. Why does that happen, and is it legal?
That is a very good question, because we do know that a lot of women go to a police station and open a case, and then she might come back herself 2 days later and say, I'd like to withdraw my case or my statement, or she might just feel like it's embarrassing to go to court all the time, and what maybe the legal system might be doing to her, and she might be feeling like, I actually can't go through this, it's too much for me, so I'm actually going to leave it. So I think with that, we're just going to let Jessica have her closing remarks, and then everybody will go with their closing remarks, and then you can just address that, and then have your closing remarks. Jessica?
My closing remark would be that as young women, we must be empowered by the older women that have been through it. Not to look at it as if it's something cool. Just look on the bright side and look how it affects you. You must always talk to older people about how you being abused in your relationships, to be informed about the ones that you also don't know, that you could take them as abuse.
Thank you. Celeste?
Yes, to answer your question, I think your question is twofold. Should it be this way? Should the police be saying, hey, listen, resolve your issues, and they get into their van and they drive off? No, it shouldn't. The police have got 3 obligations in terms of domestic violence. The first one is that provide medical assistance and shelter. The second one is explain the protection order. And the third one is right to lay a complaint. If that doesn't happen, because we deem this a priority, there's a specific dedicated reporting line, a complaints nodal point. That's the first issue. The second issue, I also want to just say, we deserve what we tolerate. If we're going to tolerate bad service delivery, maybe we're not happy with the way this happened, then we have to do something about that. The second part of your question, I think, related to, I think, Mashabi, you said false reporting, etc. A lot of people do false reports, and it wastes our resources, it wastes our time. A lot of people don't report. We had a case where a 29-year-old mother didn't report the abuse of her child or the perpetrator, and eventually she got life imprisonment. So in closing, I'd say please report. Let's stand up together and make this place a better society, a better community, starting with each one of us.
Mastaba, I would love to say to both men and women, can it all be about love? Let's know what is love. Let's know how to love yourself, to love each other. Let's know how to build each other. Because this is all about the two people coming into a relationship to build each other. It's not that you're coming with money and I need to depend. Can us women be dependent enough, and can we love each other to walk away from such situation? And can we also, please, let's report at a very early stage, so that maybe even if you don't want him to go to prison, but you're getting help for him. Love him so much that you want to get him help to resolve your relationship.
Okay, thank you so much, Master Chaba. In closure, Mina, I would say one needs to prioritize herself, and then one needs to make sure that she or he's taking care of herself emotionally and otherwise. And then I would say again, say something good within yourself. Make it a point that you uplift your spirits in any way, and just forgive yourself about everything that has been happening, and just prioritize yourself in any way. Say something nice about yourself. Protect your heart and guard your heart.
Thank you. From a very phenomenal panel and a live studio audience, this has been another episode of Youth Perspective. Whether abuse happens in the family, in the workplace, or anywhere else, it is wrong, and you should definitely report it and never stay for the wrong reasons. This is Youth Perspective, and we will be discussing women issues as it is Women Month, and especially how those issues affect the young person. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.